Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I have a brand new door. It's not a remade of something. This is a 3x3 flush with the wall piston door, and it opens quite fast. Let me just pause the game so we can see clearly. It only opens in 1.45 seconds, and the best thing about this is that it is seamless before it opens. Unlike like if you have watched some doors that they probably have the opening time of faster than the seamless time. So, and it only closes in 1.30 seconds, and it has 0.2 seconds of reset time, and in the opening it has absolutely nothing. So it's pretty good, and so it means that you can power both edges using a wooden button like this, and it will not break. So it's pretty awesome, and it's not so big. It's only 550 blocks, which is absolutely amazing. And this door was inspired by Lumendo again, because I watched his design, and so I did not use his layout, but I used my own layout, and yeah, I made it. I guess it's better. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. So the space you will need is a 5x11x10 tall, and you'll find your center point, and then go to your second width, and then go up 2 blocks, and then this is where your layout is going to start. I know we have plenty of room down below here, but that's absolutely necessary. So, and then one above that is going to be your floor level, and let me just place these 3 blocks as your door blocks. And then let me just show you how the layout works. And then, so in this side we will have a piston. This is for the storage, like this. So on the outer two, you can just like do this, and then have a double extender like this. And on the closing, we just do this. Because if we have the double extender here with an observer facing up, there are no blocks. So the comparator will just power this piston and just do this. But for the middle one, we have a problem. And one of the solutions is to use a slider, but I did not want to, so I used this storage design by PixieBlox. So if you watch his 2.75 opening 5x5 piston door, this uses this storage concept on the top. But so yeah, it was just like these are just like inverted 180 degrees. So yeah, I used his design, but on the bottom. So it's pretty cool. It's not so bad at all. So we will do something like this. Yeah, so this is seamless with the floor. So the first thing, we will just do this, and then this will be extended, so it will just retract down, and then we'll push this up, retract this, pull this back down, and then we can just do this and then push it back. So it's pretty cool. And then on the closing, we just do this, this, and then just this, and then we just extend this, so it has no hole in the floor, and then you can just do like that. That is for the bottom layout. And then on the top layout, we will use a triple extender. So first thing first, you want to have 3 pistons like this, and then 6 pistons on the top like this. So this is just going to pull, and then now we need the slider. So the way this works is that we're just going to do this. Let me just extend this. So we will just do this, and then we will retract this. And then now, because this is not seamless, so we need to push it. And because we only have this far, so this is our edge right here. And then the one thing that is a problem is that because we need 3 blocks. So if we want to have a double extender, either we do this and like this, because we have 1 air space in the top, and then just push it down and double extend. But I did not use that, and I used this layout. So instead of having like that, we do this, and that was actually Lumendo's, and this is mine. So all we need to do is that we double extend this, and then we do this, and then over here, because we also have the same thing, so this will just basically be before this actually extends. I forgot something that right here. So before this pushes up, we will just I think, oh okay, this is 1 too far back. We just do this again. Okay, like this. This has to push down, and this has to pull up at the same time, and then we can just do this to make it seamless. So it's a folded triple piston extender, which is absolutely pretty nice that I come up with. So that will just take care of our top 3 blocks. And then let me just open this door up, because we will start with the closing. So before you start, because this currently looks very ugly, so I suggest just build your 3x3 frame like here, so you kind of know where your door will be. So this is where your door frame is, and let me just fill it this floor because we will need this. So count from your middle block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right here is going to be your input block, like oops, like so. You can actually just have your input block in the floor, but that's kind of cheaty, I guess. It's not really very good, so I just added this, and thankfully we have this block. So your input, this is just going to be our standard input circuit, nothing really special, by the way. It needs some dust like this. So this is literally going to be your input circuit, because this is just going to be your input block that is going to control all the way to the circuit. Okay, now we will start with the closing. So we will this too, and the reason why we are using piston is that to avoid input bug, because input bug is the most annoying bug in the game, in my opinion. Like this. Okay, now right here, because we will need a double extender in the middle right here, we can power this pistons in the top very easily. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to have a 0 tick slider. Again, I use 0 tick slider quite often because they're pretty cool, I guess. And then basically an observer facing down, one glass block or any movable block, and then one more right here, and then finally your returner piston right here. We need this block to butt that, and this block has to be solid in this one because it needs to butt power that piston, and this one also needs to be solid. Okay, let me just fill this in. Okay, so but we have a problem, is that because if we just do this, this will not push, because of course this block, this piston is being butted and it's not getting an update. And if I have a piston here, it will not be seamless. I'm just currently do that, and then just reset this. Alright, so the way we're going to get around this is that we will have this block, and then it's going to update this piston with a node block on top. It's going to be updating this piston, which is being butted, and also it's going to update this piston because it's being butted from the top. And oops, I accidentally messed that up, so hopefully you did not do that. And so now if we have this block right here, okay, oops, we will see that we'll have a 0 tick slider like that. So the way this works is that yeah, this block is going to be powering this and instantly update this. This is being butted, so it will update it by this. So this will update it instantly, and this is going to be updated 1 microtick later. This is being butted, so it's 2 microticks later. This is being butted, so it's 3 microticks later. So we have plenty of microticks delay inside that tick. And the reason why is that because this piston right here is being butted, so it has a really high chance of being locational. So I want to avoid that. So by just having this many pistons, I will assure that it's not going to be locational at all. So let's fill this block in like this. So we got our singles done, and the way we're going to connect that is just by having an observer there. Fantastic. Alright, so next up we want to have our storage right here, of course. After we push this up, we need to push this in, and for that it's really simple. We just have observer here, piston right here, and then 1, 2, we need a rail, and then one more observer and a block. And again, the reason why we have it like this is that because we have a piston here, and if we have an observer down below here, this will actually be this will create a 3 game tick pulse for this, because this butt powers this, and then the bottom observer over here turning off will just update that. So I can just, yeah, I will not show that, but yeah, it's just something that you need to acknowledge, like there. And then on this side we just have a piston block, and then blocks going up like this. That takes care of the bottom two, and then in the middle one, because we need to push this up before we can power this piston, and the way we're going to power this piston is through this block, and this block needs to be solid. These two has to be solid because they will have to power this piston when it's over here and then over here. Alright, so the way we're going to get this is that detecting this observer being moved, not an observer, what is it? Redstone block here, and then just finally like this. So this will just push this up instantly, except it doesn't actually get pushed, so we will just connect it like this. So that will just do the first part of the storage. I can just absolutely tell you guys like this, like that, and then we just need to do the double extender. So this basically does this, and then this will just do the first part of the opening. Except we need to reset this, so we'll just do this later. But I'm just going to do this manually. Yeah, it's kind of tedious, but there are no other things that we can do. Okay. One thing that I messed up is that when the lever is off, the door has to be open. Okay, that's just a side note. And the next up, we need this middle observer floor seamless maker thingy. So what we're going to do that is that we're going to have a budded piston right here that is going to update or power this piston over right here. Okay, like this. And then the way we're going to power that is that we're going to have 2 blocks like this. So let's power this, and you can see that this is actually budded. Do not place any piston or any instant updaters, because this will not do anything. When this pushes up, this will not get updated, but this observer right here will just update this one tick later. So I might make a video about this, because this can actually update that, because I'm pretty sure that not everyone has known that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And then that will just take care of the middle one. And the next up, we just need to do the double piston extender. So for that, in this side, we will just have a simple dropper and hopper. Let me just grab the comparator. Okay. Why did I take that observer out? Okay. Dropper, hopper, place an item inside this. And the way we're going to power that is from the bottom. So coming up from so I kind of forget how to do that. So break this 1, 2. Oops. Okay, I messed that up, but yeah, into down there. So just make sure to not do that mistake, because that might mess things up. But that's fine. That takes care of this. In the opening and the closing has already done it. And then for the middle one, we will just have comparator right here. One further, and then dropper, hopper. And the reason why this observer has to face up, and then this observer has to face up, is that because of I'm sorry about this. This is too far. Yeah. So the reason why this will just butt power this is that because of course this needs to be facing up, so it can do a double extender. Okay. And the way we're going to power that is just by piston. And just pulling up this observer, and then for this side, we will just have a comparator. Why do I lose it? Okay, comparator like this. This needs to be right here, by the way. Be back here. Okay, great. And then an item inside this dropper, like so. And then this is being budded, so we can just update it using a note block, or I just like to use piston, like this. Right, so this should be your middle done, except we need to do something over in this side. So if you want to test it, I will just test it real quick. This should be our entire closing, except this needs to be up right here. So yeah, of course, this right here, because this observer is here, when the door is going to close, it will just push up, and then we'll power this piston and spit out this block, which is what we don't want, because we can't have a push on the top right there, because it's absolutely space taking and wasting. So the way we're going to get that is actually going to have another piston, right? So go back here, below this block right here, place a piston, and then an observer away from it, and then simply have a 2-tick repeater right here. Okay, running into this middle piston, right? This. So this will just extend, and this is why we need the toggle right here, so it doesn't power in the closing. Let me just close it real quick. Except this is, oh yeah, of course, this is one too far away. I am sorry about that. So like that, and then finally we just replace this repeater. So this might be a little bit tricky to place, but just place 2 tick repeater right there, and then finally your redstone dust like this. So this will just push up like so. Okay, and let me just quickly reset this. So I suggest just reset everything, and that needs to be extended, and this should be your entire opening done. Let me just see. So I kind of messed up that this needs to be a hopper. I don't know why I had an observer right here, so just makes this a hopper facing into that dropper, and then place an observer above this comparator. Alright, now we just need to do the resetter for this. And the first thing what we're going to do is that we will have, because this thing right here is left up here, we need to pull it back down, and simply just have like this, a 3 repeater right here. So you kind of have to replace this dust. That's my fault. Like this. Sorry, that needs to be like this. Let me just reset this manually for now. That's actually already. Okay, so right there, and then to actually power this, we need in the opening we need this to be a little bit slower, and then in the closing we need this to be a little bit faster. So this will just power the dust right here, and we want that don't want this to connect, so place a block, and then we don't want this dust to power that piston. Just place a tripwire hook right there, and then simply place an observer like this. So in the opening, we will just have a piston right here. In the opening, we want this to be happening super fast. So we can power both edges using a wooden button, and in the closing, we need this to synchronize the last retraction with that, because it just looks cooler. So the way we're going to get that is that coming up from here, place repeater on 1 tick into a block, another repeater on 1 tick. And this will just run into a simple toggle. So currently the door needs to close, then this needs to be up right there. And then simply have a 2 tick repeater here, block, like this, and then a dust, and then a piston and a redstone block. So a little bit of problem that I was having is that because this side, this thing is actually 1 game tick too soon or too fast, so we need an odd game tick delay, so that we just use the most basic odd game tick delay generator is just to extend a piston using a 3 game tick pulse or a 4 game tick pulse or more. So this should be this resetter, and then to reset that we just need to basically observer spam from here to actually I don't remember, so I kind of forgot how. So 2 observers, 1 block. Oh, this is going to be a little bit hard, so I should just break that real quick. Place a repeater on top of that block right there. Go down back this way. Replace this observer into a block. Oops, this needs to be on 1 tick, and then this block again. Oh my god, this is really tight. Okay, and then break this 1 tick repeater block, and then just simply have an observer above it. So this should be your entire bottom done. You can see that it will just reset like this, except we don't have this because in the closing we need to do something else. I am pretty sorry about that. So this already resets, and then that should be retracted and fully in sync to the bottom. Because we have a toggle right here, it will not actually power in the closing, so we need this to be happening super fast. So just place 2 observers, 1 tick repeater, and then because this currently door needs to close, we just have an observer like here. Pretty good. So yes, we'll just power this, and then in the closing and the opening we just pull it back and then not doing anything. This should be your entire bottom done. You can see that is reset, and then like that. And you can see right here, this timing is really tight. I can show you right here. Just load. Oops. The timing is absolutely really tight. So let me just close it real quick. You can see right here, this time is actually really tight. That you can see this will retract. This will pull, and as soon as this gets into here, this will start pushing again. So yeah, this is actually the challenging bit to actually get this into working with a wooden button. Okay, so now we're going to continue with the top. So I just suggest you to fill up all of these blocks like so, and then on top of here as well, because we will have redstone dust like this. So we'll start with this side. So it's pretty simple. I'm just gonna grab my blue terracotta for this, because for this it's going to go up, and cut that so it doesn't interfere with one and another. And then next up we want to have a slab right here, and then one more up like this, and then one more slab like so. Okay, so we are going to start with the double piston extender right here. Sorry, the triple, but of course we will have to do a fold, and we need both sides to be working synchronously. So first thing what we need to do is that in the closing, this has to happen very early, and then on the opening has to start and do its thing a little bit late. So we were going to have a pulse extender, and one thing that you need to do is that this needs to be a slab and a dust, because if we butt power this in the wrong time, this will actually break, and that's not fun. So just do this. And this is just going to come into your node block like so, and then observer below it, and another node block on top of it. I actually did a mistake. This needs to be one up, and before you place that node block, place a block below that so it doesn't turn on like this. And this will just do our double extender. So if I play the block here, this will just extend, and then this spits out, and then this will just power this. And important that this needs to be a sticker piston in each back, because I'll explain that later. And then next up we need to push this down, and for that we just have a repeater right here with on one tick, and then just two observers like this into this block. And one thing that you need to do is that you need to grab an obsidian, and then just simply place it right here, because this block will be powered and when this pushes back, and so we don't want that. So we just place an immovable block right there. Okay, that was my fault. And then next up we need to power this piston. So observer like this, two observers like this, and then a repeater. Yeah, this observer will just power this when it arrives back here, so this needs to be immovable. Very nice. And then next up, this should be this side triple done, and then we'll just continue this side first because it's a little bit easier, although it's actually the same, but whatever. So here we're gonna have an observer facing up with two blocks like this and two dust like this. We can actually just create that a block right there. And this will just go down here into another toggle. So in the opening we don't want this, in the closing we don't want this to fire. So currently the door needs to close, so we just put it up right here. And this will just go into this, and then powering another node block like so. An observer, another node block, another observer. This side we don't need any immovable object because the blocks that are slid here are normal blocks, so they will not interfere with anything. This just need to be like that. Okay, now over here we need a two-tick, sorry for that, two-tick repeater right here, and then a block observer facing up, and then here just want to have a repeater right here. On this repeater is actually correct, just need to place it right there, two-tick, block, two observers like this. So this should be your entire pusher done. So if I just activate this, this will not fully work because we need something else. And then for that we just place a block up here, and then a dust, a piston, another block right here with another block. So this will just need it in the opening because I'll explain in a second. Just need to place an obsidian down below here, so you can see this this row right here below this piston right here. Place an immovable object. It's very important. So the way this works, because in the closing this will not fire, so we need something to pull this up, otherwise this row will just get pushed out of the volume. So for that we just need to add this symbol pull, so this will just pull this up in the closing so it will not mess up. And in the opening we don't want this to get power from here, we want it to go from there. So we just need that immovable object because the storage will just be full right here. So yeah, this can't do anything. So let me just test the pusher right now. This should all work. Let me just break this so we can, so better to demonstrate it. You see right here that works, it doesn't mess up. And then here, this will actually take a little bit of time because the piston right here will just be right here. It needs to retract and being pulled by that. So we will get into that. So very simple, 3 dust in line, and then a comparator. Let me just grab the block that I will require for this, water bottle, and then just simply a cauldron. So cauldron here, just fill that up. Important that it needs to be 3 because this needs to power the entire line. Alright, so the way this is going to be powered from here, from this dust right here. And because this will just power too early in the closing, we want this to power a little bit late. So just place a piston, and then just replace this right here. And the way we power this is that from this observer here, and then this. So this actually has the correct timing for both edges in the closing and the opening, especially in the opening. Don't place a block right here on any node block because that will power this and it will end up badly. But it doesn't have the pulse extension enough for this to stay on before this pushes back. So the way we're going to get that is actually place a block with another comparator and then another observer facing down with a 2-tick repeater. And this is why it sucks, because we need a hopper here. Although I absolutely despise hoppers, but there are absolutely no other alternative that we can do. So yeah, place hopper right there, and then this. So this will retract instantly. This will turn off after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one thing, this pulse right here turns off at 5 ticks. This pulse turns off at 5 ticks because the observers give 1 tick pulse. That means from 5 it will turn on, and then it will turn off at 6. And at 6 redstone ticks, it is the optimal delay that we require for this. So this is just as a pulse extender using an observer. So it's very useful indeed. And so this is almost everything. We just need the top slider. So for that, it's really simple. Observer right here. Currently the door is closed, so place it right here. And then we will just have a pusher. Let me just grab the block that I will require, like this, and solid block. Okay, so this will just be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This needs to be solid, and then our returner piston at the very back right here. So this will just power these 3 observers and these 3 blocks. And this will always give double pulse, right? Because we will just return it simply from here. So we need 1 more glass block, like this. Okay. And so in the opening, this will fire once, and then it will fire again. And that's absolutely perfect because this comparator turning off after 1 tick, it will not update the piston extended right here, so it will just remain budded. And that's not what we wanted. So this observer will be over here, and this cauldron being missing, it's going to update it so it will instantly push. And then the piston extending will just update it so it retracts, and then when it returns, it will just pull back up. So that's just how it works. And in the closing, we only need 1 pulse, and because since that we will push it down instantly, push it down when these pistons are already in these 3 blocks, and then the time this pushes back down, when this is pushing, this is already here and start extending. So when they are immediately put here, it will start extending instantly. So the second pulse of this will not pull it back up. So this should be your entire door done. If I did not create any mistakes, this should be it. Let's test it real quick. Wonderful. And then let me just show you this thing right here. You can see the first pulse, this will just update at our track, and in the second pulse, this is what we need before this absolutely pushes back like that. The one thing that I just noticed, that if your door does this, it does that, it closes fine, and when it opens, you can see that this piston is left butted, and this is what I just noticed, that it is actually being butted from 2 directions. So it's kind of unfortunate, and the way to fix that is just simply add an observer right here, coming from this out, and then 1 observer into this, and then a piston to update that. So yeah, I have actually never experienced that. So this should already You can see I will just retract that piston, and then so it will just work the way it is. So again, fill in your door frame, and thankfully enough that I actually discovered this just now. So this is the door is no longer locational, so it's working for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you guys next episode.